Hey, welcome back everyone. It is now April 23rd of 2022. A lot of things are happening at the same exact time right now. We have the Ahsoka Tano TV show that's all set and ready to begin filming in just a short number of days from now, between both Rosario Dawson and Hayden Christensen doing a lot of work on their end as well. We have, of course, Star Wars Andor, which is still slated for a summer of this year, by the way, release. We're still not quite sure if it's going to be June, July, August. That's still a big mystery, but it's looking like August right now because they want to create enough breathing room between both Kenobi and the Andor series. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way, guys, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you also very much for the kind support. It is greatly appreciated. Now, as of right now, there's a lot of things happening, of course, with Disney as a company and Lucasfilm as a company as well, when it all dwindles down to Star Wars. Now, given that we have a lot of things happening between George, John, and Dave Filoni on mixing together both Legends and the already existing Disney canon material to really create this balance, to really cater to all types of fans out there, whether you are a hardcore fan, a casual fan, or even just a new Star Wars fan entering into the franchise. They want to make sure that they can satisfy everybody, and it's going to be a bit of a hard task to really complete that goal. It's going to be a very difficult job to pull off by John and Dave Filoni on doing that in a very well executed manner. But I digress. What's really all the more intriguing has a lot to do with, of course, Disney CEO Bob Chapek. Now, Bob Chapek has been doing an excellent job with at least the Star Wars universe so far, and allowing Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni to do their thing. You know, he's also been doing a good job with some of the Marvel content, I must say. But the one thing that I don't agree with, which we're going to be getting into in just a couple of seconds, has a lot to do with other aspects of what Bob Chapek has been controlling. Now, on top of all of this, with both Disney and Lucasfilm now beginning to work on the new Star Wars TV shows and movies that will be announced in the near future, Disney CEO Bob Chapek is described to be very overwhelmed with everything that has been happening with Disney for the past number of weeks. Disney CEO Bob Chapek has been considering of leaving Disney as a company and leaving it up to another CEO to handle everything moving forward. However, it's noted that Chapek has plans to leave everything Star Wars, Marvel, and more due to being overwhelmed by the way things are going with Disney right now as we speak. Now, Bob Chapek has plans to leave the company prematurely, and that he is planning to step down as early as 2024, which he currently is planning to do, given that he is described to be very stressed with the way things are going for the Galactic Starcruiser Hotel, and even the Galaxy's Edge theme park, which should be doing better than expected. Now, Chapek is described to have a big fear in place right now that his legacy will be tainted between what's been going on with Disney as a whole and even the Galactic Starcruiser Hotel. Now, let me just stop right here for 1 second. Now, while I will agree that he's been doing a pretty solid job on the live-action and animated Star Wars material on Disney+, such as The Mandalorian and The Book of Boba Fett was a pretty, entertaining show. It had a couple of flaws here and there, but it could have been superior, it could have been way better. But so far, he's allowing John and Dave to do their thing. You gotta remember this, is that Chapek is the one allowing John and Dave to do whatever they want to do with Star Wars, and he is the guy that did not allow Kathleen Kennedy to have creative power over these new projects. So just keep that in mind. The thing that I do not agree with is exactly what he's been doing with the Starcruiser Hotel and what he's been doing with Galaxy's Edge for the past number of years. Alright, so those are the two things that I feel that Chapek's, weak point are. Now, on top of that, so far, Bob Chapek is said to only be proud of two things right now, and that is the direction of the Star Wars and Marvel franchises on their streaming platform, and how they have been able to grow that fan base better than before. Chapek, however, had a falling out with ex-Disney CEO Bob Iger, and it was labeled as a very awkward falling out between the two before Iger officially left Disney as the CEO some time ago. However, currently Chapek is said to be getting desperate to enhance the image and legacy also at Star Wars to make up for the failure of the Starcruiser Hotel. Part of that has to do with the fact that Chapek now has plans to turn the Star Wars limited TV shows into multi-season shows. This includes the Obi-Wan Kenobi TV series and how Chapek is now making it to be a 3-season series minimum in order to tell the full story between both Vader and Obi-Wan. Chapek is also looking to extending the Mandalorian series to go beyond Season 4, in which initially he wanted the Mandalorian to stop at Season 4 to end the series. So that's another thing here that I think is worth talking about very briefly, is that initially a lot of the limited series were going to be just that, limited series, period, the end. Now Chapek wants to make the already planned limited TV shows into multi-season shows, so that essentially includes the Obi-Wan Kenobi TV show, the Ahsoka Tano series, and more. He wants to make those into multi-season shows, just like The Mandalorian, just like Star Wars Andor. And you know what? That makes sense. I always said to myself, why would Andor get 3 seasons right off the bat before it even released, and yet Obi-Wan Kenobi just gets strictly one season, and that was it? It seemed rather unfair to me, and it really came off as very unfair to the characters. And now, you know, that he's making this call and making this happen, I think it's going to make a lot more fans happier out there, more satisfied with his direction of the Star Wars universe. But there is one thing that a lot of fans are unhappy about, and that, of course, is the Starcruiser Hotel. And let's be honest, it's really not all that appealing. That's my 2 cents in just one word. It's really not appealing at all. So Chapek, of course, making these changes has a lot to do with his legacy that he wants to leave behind for the fans. Chapek also wants to make sure that he can also turn things around for the Star Wars theme park, Galaxy's Edge, by making some core changes to the park as well. It's unclear what those changes will be, however, the extension of the Mandalorian series and making limited series into multi-season shows is another last-minute call by Chapek in an attempt to create his legacy before he is planning to actually leave by 24, which would only label Chapek as the CEO for around 4 years. So far, Bob Chapek has even had discussions with the board members about who would actually fill in for him by 24 as the CEO of Disney, though it's unclear as to who exactly that would be. Now, again, between the falling out of Iger and Chapek, I'm sure that you guys heard about this a couple of weeks ago. There was a very awkward and bizarre falling out between the two when Iger was leaving as the Disney CEO. We learned about this just a couple of weeks ago. And on top of that, Chapek is really in a desperate position right now to change his legacy of how he is the Disney CEO. There's no denying it. There's a lot of things going on right now with Disney. There's a lot of things happening too with the Galactic Starcruiser Hotel. There's a lot of fans that are not really supporting that at all, period, the end. So far, what I have noticed is that the people that have really been going there a lot more are more so like journalists or super hardcore Star Wars fans that really have the cash to actually pay for this experience. But other than that, it is very overpriced, and you really don't get for what you would expect to be paying for. And that's the biggest problem right now. So that's my 2 cents on the Galactic Starcruiser Hotel. I know a lot of you guys have been asking for that, but I have no intentions to ever really check it out, period. I just don't. So let me know what you guys have to say about all this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to morning.